The journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a single step. It begins with a single decision. A decision that you are no longer willing to be where you are. A decision that the pain of staying has finally become greater than the fear of going. Let me tell you a story. It's not a story about a hero. It's not a story about a genius. It's a story about you, in a different skin under a different sky. There was once a man named Leo, and Leo lived in the Valley of the Grey. It wasn't a bad place. It was safe. It was familiar. The sky was always a soft, muted grey. The food was bland but sufficient. The days were predictable. But Leo had a dream that felt like a disease in that grey place. He dreamed of colors. He dreamed of a place called the Sunstone Peak. A place, the legends said, where the light was so pure it could heal any wound of the spirit. A place where the air tasted of possibility. Everyone in the valley knew the stories. But no one ever left. Leaving was a fool's errand. The path was too long, the mountains too high, the dangers too real. It was better to be safe and grey than to be lost and broken. But the dream in Leo's heart would not die. It was a quiet, persistent ember. It glowed in the grey of his world. It haunted his sleep. It whispered to him in the quiet moments, "There is more." One morning Leo looked in the mirror. He saw the grey dust settling on his shoulders. He saw the resignation in his own eyes. And something in him snapped. The ember burst into a flame. That very day he packed a small bag. With trembling hands he laced up his worn boots. He walked to the edge of the valley. He took one look back at the safe grey world. And he took the first step, into the unknown. The journey of 1,000 miles had begun. The first few days were exhilarating. The air smelled different. The world was vibrant. Every new flower was a miracle. Every bird's song was a symphony. He felt alive. He was moving. He was a pioneer of his own destiny. This, he thought, is easy. This is what I was meant for. But then, the path began to climb. The easy meadows gave way to sharp, jagged rocks. His new boots began to rub. Blisters formed. The sun which he had so desperately sought, now beat down on him without mercy. His water supply ran low. The initial euphoria evaporated like a morning mist. And doubt, his old companion from the valley, came to visit. It walked beside him. It whispered in his ear. "What are you doing, Leo? You had a home, you had safety. Look at you now. You are tired, you are in pain, and you have seen no Sunstone Peak. It's a myth, a story for children? You are a fool." One evening, as he tried to light a fire with damp wood, Leo broke. He put his head in his hands. And he wept for the comfort of the grey valley. He wept for his own arrogance. He was ready to quit. This was the first true test of perseverance. Not the strength to start, but the courage to continue when the newness has worn off. When the pain sets in. But as he sat there in the gathering dark, something caught his eye. A small, determined weed. Growing straight through a crack in the solid rock. It was not impressive. It was not tall. But it was alive. It had persevered against impossible odds. It had found a way. Leo looked at that weed. And he saw himself. He was that weed, pushing through the solid rock of his own fear. He took a deep, ragged breath. He did not put out his small, struggling fire. He nurtured it. He blew on the embers until they caught. He decided he would go on, not because he was sure of the destination, but because he refused to be defeated by the path. The journey changed after that. It didn't get easier. But Leo got stronger. His muscles hardened. His mind sharpened. He learned to read the stars for direction. He learned to find water in hidden places. He met other travelers on the path. Some were heading back to the valley defeated. Their stories of dragons and chasms filled him with fear. But others were going forward, just like him. They shared their food. They shared their fires. They shared their stories. He learned that he was not alone. Perseverance is not a solitary sport. It is a chorus of determined voices saying, "Keep going." Came the storm. The sky turned black. The wind howled like a demon. Rain fell in sheets, cold and relentless. The path turned into a river of mud. Lightning tore the sky apart. Leo clung to the side of the mountain, terrified. This was it. This was the end. He had come so far only to be destroyed by a force of nature. He screamed into the wind. Why? Why is this so hard? And in a flash of lightning he saw it. Not the Sunstone Peak, but his own two hands raw and gripping the rock. He saw his own strength. He realized in that moment that the storm was not there to stop him. It was there to reveal him to himself. To show him a strength he never knew he possessed. He stopped fighting the storm. He embraced the struggle. He leaned into the wind. And he kept climbing. one slippery, treacherous inch at a time. Perseverance is not about avoiding the storm. It is about learning to dance in the rain. It is about understanding that the storm is part of the journey. The storm passed, the air was clean and new, and there in the distance he saw a faint golden glow. His heart leaped, but between him and that glow was a massive chasm. A bridge of frayed ropes and broken planks was the only way across. This was the final test, the test of faith. He could turn back now, he had survived. That was something, but to cross this bridge was to bet everything on a dream he had never seen with his own eyes. This is the moment. The moment every traveler faces, the moment between I try and I succeeded. Leo closed his eyes. He thought of the grey valley. He thought of the blisters. He thought of the storm. He had not come this far to only come this far. He took a deep breath, and he stepped onto the bridge. It swayed violently. The ropes groaned. Every step was a prayer. He did not look down into the abyss. He kept his eyes locked on the golden light ahead. He focused on the dream, not the fear. Step by step, breath by breath, he inched his way across, and finally, he reached the other side. He stood there for a moment, exhausted. He turned around, and he saw the impossible distance he had traveled. The valleys, the mountains, the storms, the chasm. It was all behind him. Then he turned forward and he saw it, the sunstone peak. It was not a city of gold. It was not a palace. It was a field of impossible, brilliant flowers. It was a waterfall that sang a song of pure joy. It was a light that did not just illuminate, but that understood. He sat down on a rock, and he wept once more. But these were not tears of pain. They were tears of arrival, tears of recognition. He had not found a new place. He had found the person he was always meant to be. The journey had not changed the world, it had changed him. The 1,000-mile journey was, in the end, a journey of one single step, repeated, again and again. And again. You are Leo. Your dream is your sunstone peak. Your doubts are the blisters on your feet. Your fears are the storm. Your challenges are the chasm. And your decision to keep going, that is your perseverance. You are in the middle of your 1,000-mile journey right now. Maybe you are in the first, exciting days. Maybe you are in the painful, blistering phase, ready to quit. Maybe you are in the middle of the storm, clinging to the rock for dear life. Maybe you are standing at the edge of your chasm, terrified to take the next step. Wherever you are, I am here to tell you, look at the weed in the crack. Nurture your small fire, lean into the storm, and take the next step. You have a strength inside you that is forged in struggle. You have a resilience that is born in adversity. The journey is the destination. The perseverance is the prize. Keep going, not because it is easy, but because you are stronger than the path. You are braver than the storm. You are greater than the chasm. Your sunstone peak is waiting, and it is more beautiful than you can possibly imagine. Take the step.